All right, just here. There we go. All right. 3, 2. What is up, everybody? This is BJ Williams, and welcome to another RC Victory Lane recap. This things are a little different this time, just because, unfortunately, not long before we were supposed to go live, the power went out here, and so I had to find another spot where I could actually go live and still be able to see everything. So I'm back in my room, and and we'll get a nice little setup here, and we are live, and we are going to talk about the 2023 ROAR Carpet Offroad Nationals, the second edition. First one was last year up in Northwest Hobbies in Albany, Oregon. But we're going to talk about the results of that because we had some great racing on Live RC today. If you had a chance to check it out, let me know what you thought of it, what you thought of the coverage, what you thought of all of the of the little bits and bobs that Live RC had as part of the coverage. And this is the second time that they've done a ROAR event, and they were really. And I still like a lot of little things that they did there, just with the headshots and the different graphics and all of that. I really feel like Brandon Rohde and the guys at the Live RC did a great job with all of that, and I really think that if this is kind of par for the course now, I would be 100% on board with it, because I know that ROAR is trying to do better, and this is definitely a step in the right direction. But if we take a minute here and look at the entries from this past event, it was actually a pretty well attended. It was 103 drivers, 213 entries for this event down at Beachline Raceway down in Cocoa Beach, Florida, which is a gorgeous track. I've watched them with the Florida Carpet Champs that they've had for the last few years, and it is a gorgeous facility. If I get a chance to go to Florida, I would love to check it out, just because it's so nice. I think they're actually holding the IFMAR 12th scale on-road worlds there as well in December. Sorry about that. And so, but this week is all about the off-road, as again 103 drivers making the trip to Cocoa Beach, Florida, to be a part of the second ROAR Carpet Offroad Nationals. And a lot of the major players were in attendance for this one, as every class, with the exception of, I believe, one, actually had at least 10 drivers in it. The only one that I know of that didn't have at least 10 was the modified stadium truck class. We'll talk about that here in just a minute, because that had some pretty good action, and a hint of RG Bargy as well. We'll go over that here in just a minute. But 103 drivers, and we'll take a minute here and go over the qualifying from Friday and Saturday. They ran 4 rounds. Each group had 4 rounds of qualifying. They would take your best 2 out of 4, pretty much par for the course, if you are familiar with ROAR events. And they took your best 2 out of 4, and it was a qual points format. So basically, if you finished first in a round, you got 0 points. Second was for 2 points, and then all the way on down the line until to the last person in the class got whatever the maximum points was. And then they would take your best 2, combine the scores, and that would be your overall score for qualifying, and you'd be seeded for the mains that way. 0, of course, is a perfect score. It means you won your two counting rounds are both 0, and then it kind of worked its way down from there. And if we look at the qualify at the end of the day on Saturday, we'll go over the mains here in a minute. We'll go over Saturday as well. At 13.5 two-wheel short course, Tom Sherman took the TQ with a pair of zeros. He finished first in round 1, second in round 2, first in round 3, and I believe it's third in round 4. He had 0 points. Justin Sherman, it was actually his son, finished second, and he had 2 points, 2 in round 1, he won round 2, 10 points in round 3, and 7 in round 4. Seth Payton qualified third. He had 3 in round 1, 4 in round 2, 4 excuse me, 15 in round two. No, 4 in round two. 14 in round three. No, he had zero. His scores were 3 and 0. He won round number 4 after Tom Sherman had already had kind of keeping Justin from challenging his dad for the top qualified position in that one. Rest of the top 10 making the A main for that one were John Ermer Jr., Ryan Wyrick, Tim Larson, Omar Gonzalez, Lee Conley Jr., Mike Gazer, and Teddy Davis. Moving to our expert classes, we'll start with the stock classes. First, in 75 two-wheel drive buggy, Daniel Chavez, who is, I believe, actually the owner of Beachline RC, so I guess you could say he had a bit of a home court advantage on that one. He won all 4 rounds of qualifying to take the TQ with 0 points. Doug Riviere, a very fast racer out of the West Coast, qualified second. He took a 2 in round number 2 and a 3 in round number 4. Followed by Kyle Holmberg, Tyler Hooks from Live RC, and J Concepts qualified 4th. Kai Goff qualified 5th, followed by Nate Sutherland, Dustin Fox, Jeff Statkwitz, Jovi Levin, and Sammy Moran qualified for this one in 17.5 two-wheel drive buggy. In the that was brought to by Team Scream Racing. 4-wheel drive sponsored by Surpass RC. Daniel Chavez again was top qualifier. He had to work a little harder for this one because he won round 1, won round 2, finished I believe it was 5th in round number 2, then won rounds 3 and 4, but it actually came down to round 4 to qualify for that one because Nate Sutherland won round number 2, and he was right on Chavez's heels the whole way qualifying, all the way through all 4 rounds. So it was a really good battle to see them get the positions there. Daniel Chavez did take the TQ, followed by Jovi Levin in 3rd, Jeff Statkwitz in 4th, Kai Goff in 5th, Dustin Fox in 6th, Sammy Moran 7th, Kyle Holberg 8th, Doug Riviere 9th, and Kenny Setzer out of Florida rounded out the 10-car field in 4-wheel drive 13.5, sponsored by Surpass RC. And then we come to the premier class, the classes with the driver everybody wants to see, which is the modified classes. That's where the best in the world do battle. And the story of qualifying pretty much was Dakota Fend. He was probably one of the fastest guys out there, and he actually got a perfect score in 2-wheel drive, but he did have a couple of rough runs in rounds number 3 and 4, which allowed Spencer Rivkin to take the top spot in those. But he won the tiebreaker with his better combined laps, 40 laps, 10:27. I think I should probably mention, if you're tied on points at the end of qualifying, they would take your combined laps and time, and whoever had the faster combined laps and time would get the better position. So Dakota Fend running for TLR, he qualified first, followed by Spencer Rivkin for Associated in 2nd, and then the guy who I guess we can kind of call the king of carpet in a sense, Brock Champlin running for Schumacher, he qualified 3rd, followed by Aiden Horn. By the way, subscribe to Aiden Horn RC on YouTube, just as a shameless plug for him. He qualified 4th. Julian Oliveras qualified 5th. Eric Kothman was 6th. Brandon Foote in 7th. Taylor Sontag out of California in 8th. Sorry about that, folks. Again, this is the best I could do as far as the broadcast position. I hope you didn't hear that, because if you did, I do sincerely apologize. But Taylor Sontag qualified 8th. Ryan Cavalieri running for Schumacher qualified 9th, and Brendan Schimmel from out my old stomping grounds in Chesapeake, Virginia, qualified in the 10th position to make the field in 2-wheel drive modified. That class is sponsored by J Concepts. In a 4-wheel drive sponsored by Wits Racing, Dakota Fend again was a top qualifier as he won rounds 1 and 4. Ty Tessman qualified 2nd, winning rounds 2 and 3. Spencer Rivkin qualified 3rd. He finished 2nd in round. His best finishes were 2nd in round 1 and 4 behind Fend. Testman, by the way, runs for X-Ray. Fourth is Brock Champlin for Schumacher, running the Schumacher Storm Stadium truck. Qualified fifth was Tater Sontag for TLR. Aiden Horn for Associated was sixth. Brandon Foote qualified seventh. Aaron Kochman for TLR qualified eighth. Ryan Cavalieri for Schumacher qualified ninth. And Julie Oliveris rounded out the A main field in 10th. And finally, probably the smallest class of the weekend, the modified stadium truck class, and I believe also the only class that was not sponsored. That modified stadium truck and 13.5 stadium truck weren't sponsored, but with all said and done. But smallest class, they had 7 drivers, and they all ran in one heat, which basically means that where you finish is where you finish in that one. Spencer Rivkin was top qualifier. He wins in round 3 and 4 to earn the top spot, followed by Dakota Fenn in second, Brock Champlin third, Ryan Cavalieri fourth, Juan Lopez fifth, Tater Sontag sixth, and Quincy Adkins in 7th. So good to see some of the local pros getting a chance to compete in the A main at a major national event. So props to Juan Lopez, Quincy Adams, and all of the local pros who had a chance to be a part of this race and really had a chance to rub elbows with some of the fastest guys in the world. Definite props to all of these guys for that. And so that was how things looked at the end of qualifying in the major classes. Other classes run it. There was 13.5 stadium truck. I guess we'll take a minute here to go over that one as well, because those are just the expert stock classes. Doug Riviere was top qualifier in 13.5 stadium truck. He won rounds 3 and 4 to earn top qualifier for that one. Qualified second was Jeff Stakowitz. Kyle Holmberg qualified third. Jovi Levin fourth. Chad Newweiler was fifth. Brian Wyrick sixth. John Prickett in 7th. Kyle Chasen, another one of the guys from back in my old stomping ground in Virginia, qualified 8th. Jason Coleman qualified 9th. And Mike Gazer picked up his second A main qualifier, qualified 10th in 13.5 stadium truck, making both 13.5 truck A mains. And now let's take a moment. So that was how they qualified overnight when things got rolling into the mains on Sunday morning. They actually wrapped up here about 4 hours ago. So everybody's either going back to the hotels and getting ready to travel home, or they're already on their way home as it is. But here's how it kind of went down in the classes on Sunday in the A mains. First up, your expert stock classes in 75 two-wheel drive buggy. Daniel Chavez, he went 1-1. Winning the A1 and A2 to earn the title of the maximum score of 2 points. I should go ahead and probably take a quick moment and explain just how this works in the main events as well, for those who are tuning in and maybe haven't had a chance to really understand what's going on. With AAA, a lot of races they run one race, and that's how, and they pick whoever finishes first. In RC, they have something called AAA mains. Basically means they run 3 races, and they take your best 2 scores out of those 3 races, and those are your final scores for the overall. And again, you get 1 point for first, 2 for second. Lowest score wins, basically. So perfect score in the AAA mains is 2. Where you get 2 wins, kind of like in motocross, where you go 1-1 and you end up and you have a perfect score there, and and that's all there is to it. So in 75 two-wheel drive buggy, Daniel Chavez goes 1-1, finishing first in A1 and A2, take the win with 2 points, followed by Kyle Holmberg in second, going 2-2. Doug Riviere, he tied for second, but Holmberg had the better tiebreaker, which I believe is combined laps in time, despite the fact that actually wait. Yeah. That's right. It's the better of. Yeah. The Riviere went 1-3 in stadium truck, but he finishes third by virtue of losing the laps tiebreaker to Holmberg as a result of his runs in races 1 and 2. Finishing fourth was Tyler Hooks. Jeff Stakowitz is fifth. Nate Sutherland sixth. You scroll down here. Dustin Fox seventh. Joby Levin eighth. Kai Goff in ninth, and Sammy Moran finishes in 10th. Moving now to our 13.5 four-wheel drive class. Story is, once again, Daniel Chavez wins A1 and A2, wins the national championship at 13.5 four-wheel drive, sweeping the buggy classes. as he finishes first with 2 points, followed by Nate Sutherland, Jeff Statkowitz, Jovi Levin, Kai Goff, Kyle Holmberg, Sammy Moran, Kitty Setzer, Dustin Fox, and Doug LaRiviere. Your 10-car field in that one. And finally, in your 13.5 Stadium Truck class, Doug LaRiviere redeems himself as he wins A1 and A3 to take the win in 13.5 Stadium Truck over Jeff Statkowitz in second, followed by Jovi Levin third, Kyle Holmberg fourth, Brian Wyrick fifth, Kyle Chasen, my local friend, in sixth, Chad Newweiler in seventh, John Prickett eighth, Jason Coleman ninth, and Mike Gazer in 10th. Let's take a moment here. Now we'll move to the premier classes, to the modifieds. And in Mod 2 Wheel, to the surprise of actually probably quite a few people, Spencer Rivkin actually got the better of Dakota Fenn in both A1 and A2 as he takes the win, getting himself another two-wheel drive national championship and putting himself in a very good position as a favorite going into the World's at Hobby Action RC Raceway in Arizona in September. Dakota Fenn would top qualifier finish second, Brock Champlin third, Brandon Foote fourth, Aiden Horn fifth, Ryan Cavalieri sixth, Julian Oliveris in seventh, Tater Sontag eighth, Aaron Kaufman ninth, and Brendan Schimmel, another of my hot shoe friends from back in Tidewater, finishing in the 10th position as he goes 10, 9, and 9 in the 3A mains. Modified four-wheel drive. Dakota Fenn gets one back there as he goes 1-1, winning A1 and A2 to win the four-wheel drive national championship. I believe defending his title from last year, as Brock Champlin finishes second, Spencer Rivkin third. Brock Champlin won four-wheel last year. My mistake on that one. Champlin would finish second this year. Spencer Rivkin finished third. Ty Tessman fourth. Aiden Horn fifth. Tater Sontag sixth. Ryan Cavalieri running for Schumacher finished seventh. Julian Oliveris eighth. Eric Kaufman ninth. And Brandon Foote rounded out your 10-car field. And then probably the most intriguing, I would say, from a racing standpoint, class of the weekend, Mod Stadium Truck. Dakota Fenn took the win, winning A1 and A2. Spencer Rivkin finished second, but he was on him quite a bit here, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that, especially running A number 2 here in just a second. Brock Champlin finished third, Ryan Cavalieri fourth, Tater Sontag fifth, Juan Lopez sixth, and Quincy Adkins finished in seventh. Gonna take a moment here and turn away from the results here, just to kind of talk to you folks here, and just let me and just talk about the Mod Stadium Truck A main. If I had a chance to, I would absolutely go back and play that third A main for you, just so you can get a chance to look, because about a minute to go, Spencer Rivkin and Dakota Fenn are battling at the front of the field. Again, those who were pretty much the class of the bunch there the whole weekend in Mod Stadium Truck. They were right after each other, and then Rivkin ran a little wide, coming out of the S turn, heading onto the start straightaway at the layout of Beachline RC, and Fenn got up the inside of him, and he actually drove hard to the inside and took the lead, and he would not be headed the rest of that A2 and going to win the national championship in Mod Stadium Truck. If you watch the chat there on YouTube on the Live RC live stream, a lot of people were very much of the opinion that Fenn probably should have been penalized for what I guess you could say was avoidable contact. And really, if you watch that race, there was some aggressive driving, yes. I mean, I'll admit to that, but I really didn't see anything that would necessarily be considered avoidable in that. I mean, Rivkin went wide in that turn and gave him just enough room. I mean, just enough, like this much room, and Fenn was able to get inside, take the lead, and he would go on to win the race. I mean, he was probably one of, if not the fastest guys all weekend. Rivkin did have some very choice words. If you watch the interview with Rivkin after the two-wheel drive modified, when what you didn't see, because they cut it off there just before he got to it, he acknowledges that Fenn was probably the fastest guy on the weekend. He was a little frustrated because of how things went in Mod Stadium Truck. And again, he was right. I think he's right to be frustrated about that, just because it was hard racing and all that. But Fenn showed himself to be one of the fastest guys all weekend. I mean, he started top two in all three modified classes over the course of the day, and he was routinely either either in the one position or fighting for very close to that one position all the way through, and whether it was seeding or qualifying or even going into the mains on here today. So I mean, you can't really fault Fend for driving as he did. I mean, could you necessarily have blamed him for taking an aggressive line, even though he did bump Rivkin off? Rivkin didn't crash. He didn't lose a position. He still stayed in second and was right back on Fed's rear deck for the last about 45 seconds of the A2, and still went on to win A number 3 and earn the position of second overall in that class. So they'll probably be seeing each other again at the Silver State Indoor Championships in Las Vegas for 8th scale, which is coming up here in a little over a week and a half. They'll probably that racing starts May the 4th. You can see that one on Live RC if you would like to follow that along. But I think that those two are probably going to be battling in 10th scale pretty much for the rest of the year, even going all the way up, even after the pre-worlds, which will be at Hobby Action at the end of May, which is kind of a warm-up race for the World Championships in September. And I'm willing to bet they're not going to have the same layout for the pre-world and for the World Championships. So this will be interesting to see how the racers attack this layout here, because a lot of them were there for the Desert Classic early in the year, but again, different layout for pre-world and probably different layout for the World Championships as well. So it'll be interesting to see how things go when it comes to that. Anyway, it looks like it's just after 8 o'clock and things get a little dark here, but I just wanted to say that this has been I'm really enjoying this opportunity to be able to share with you about these live recaps, kind of talking about the racing, and I'm certainly planning on doing one for the Silver State Indoor Championships from Las Vegas. I'll be going live on Friday after qualifying for both days of qualifying, and I'll go live during both days of mains as well. So definitely keep an eye on my community page for when those live will be and what time they'll be, and definitely tune in. I've had some people come in and out of my live streams here for a bit. We're getting ready to wrap up here in a minute. Sorry, I had to go live a little bit because I realized that it's getting dark, and I want to make sure that I have some decent lighting for my live stream here before things get dark. Because again, they're still working on getting the power turned back on here at the building where I'm currently staying. But I'll be going live May 4th through the 7th. Just check out my community page, or just look for the or subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see when I'm going live with a recap of qualifying and a recap of the mains. And definitely support as best you can. If you look at if you look at the description of this live stream, you'll see links to how to donate via PayPal or by a Venmo if you'd like to donate that way, because I'm still pretty new at this, so I'm not quite able to monetize quite yet. But if you'd like to support and help to get some new equipment here so I can do some really awesome live streams for y'all, I'm going to keep doing it from my phone here for the time being. But if you want to support what we're doing here with RC Victory Lane, just hit up the information in my description below. I'm going to point down here so you can kind of see where that is. I'm going to go. This kind of looks a little cheesy, but if you go down here to the description down below, you'll see some information as to where you can send donations to, and then that will help with getting new equipment and continue to do these live streams, which I'm really looking forward to doing. I mean, I know my friend Nitro Freak. He said he was going to come through here, and I know he's had some things to say about begging and all that, but if you want to donate, that's up to you. If you don't, that's completely on you as well. That's completely fine as well. I respect that. Any way that you can help with making sure that these live streams continue, and that we can upgrade our equipment so that we can keep doing this awesome stuff at various national events, whether it's the national championships coming up here later this summer, or the World Championships in September, or any other events here going forward. I will gladly accept, but you don't necessarily have to. But we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here for tonight. So until I talk to you again after first day of qualifying at the 2023 Silver State Indoor Championships. This is BJ Williams saying, go fast, turn left, turn right if you need to, and we will talk to you then. Have a good one.